Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and Patreon subscriber Lucify gave me a dealer's choice to play whatever I want, and I'm deciding to play Tommaso Ciampolini's Eternal Weekend Europe winning list. This is blue Affinity, not to be confused with 8 cast, because there are actually 0 casts in the deck, no thought cast, no thought monitor. And I actually had the pleasure of playing against Tommaso in round 3 of Eternal Weekend. I did win the match, it was really close. The deck impressed me, and I kind of lost track of him over the weekend, and then later found out that he won, so congrats, Tommaso. The core interactions of this deck are Pinnacle Emissary, and Patchwork Automaton, and Kappa Cannoneer. All 3 of these things ask you in different ways to jam a bunch of artifacts. Pinnacle Emissary turns those artifacts into 1/1 flying creatures. Patchwork Automaton turns them into stats on the Automaton. Kappa Cannoneer turns them into stats and makes Kappa unblockable. These things cost 1, 2, 3, and then any number between 1 and 6 to cast. The nut draw is, of course, Pinnacle Emissary, 5 artifacts, Kappa Cannoneer all on turn 1. And then Emery and Urza Saga are other engines running in the background. And there's Chalice of the Void and Force of Will. This deck is beautiful because it just has 4 of all the cards that you really want, and then some stuff to tutor for with Urza Saga. It's like 1 Spear, 1 Needle, 1 Boots, and then 4 of every other card except Basic Island. I've played lots of these Artifact Stompy style decks before. The Patchwork Automaton tech emerged when Orcish Bowmaster was printed, because the deck that drew lots of cards while making lots of small creatures in 8 cast did not fare well versus the card that kills all your creatures when you draw cards. Patchwork Automaton, very strong versus Orcish Bowmaster because you have to pay Ward 2 on every one of the ping triggers. It's really hard to actually kill this thing with a Bowmaster. And this list has foregone the card draw anyway. The card draw that we have are the 8 baubles, and you can decide when and how you want to rip those off. It's simple, but it's effective. Let's try it out. This is Affinity from Tommaso Ciampolini and Lucify. I'm on the play in round 1 versus Geodude Jared, who's generally known for playing goblins, though I do have intel that he's been spotted in the streets on High Tide lately. Is turn 1 Emery good enough here? I'll try it. Urza's Bauble, Mishra's Bauble, sat myself for a land, play Emery. If my opponent has a Force of Will, this is a good target for it. Build over another Bauble. Let's see what you're working with. Tropical Island. All right. Geodude Jared stepping out of the Warrens. Oh, okay. Well, I now know what the entire deck is. Let's see if I can do anything about it. Right, hit my land drop. That's good. Yeah, this is a big matchup to have access to Chalice of the Void in, which I do not. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artifacts. I don't think I can actually use Emery this turn, though. I need to block, which is super disappointing. I should equip the Shadow Spear. Yep, just a medium-sized blocker. Lifelink, look out. Hexproof and Indestructible. The flavor text on Shadow Spear could matter depending on what their protection spells are. Like Legolas's Quick Reflexes, I believe, grants Hexproof. A Ponder is nice. That's a pretty low-impact play considering all the things Infect could do to me here. Didn't shuffle, have another colored mana source. Invigorate. Alright, doing this pre-combat probably means there's a Swift Reflexes coming to kill Emery on the attack trigger. Gains Hexproof Reach. Okay, so it doesn't matter now, but Shadow Spear does have text in this matchup. Sorry, Emery. This did at least flush out a Quick Reflexes on a turn where if I had tapped Emery, they just wouldn't have to do that. Patches O'Houlihan. I think I'm just making constructs. Noble Hierarch. I have a 4/4 I can block with. They're attacking with a 3/3, and the -1 does matter. Okay, so this Inkmoth Nexus... Oh wait, no, I'm counting it like that's a saga. Alright, no. I was about to say Inkmoth Nexus can activate and add an artifact to the board, which is true, but I'm the one who cares about that, not them. 1 card left in hand over there. Do they want to put -3/-3 on my construct at the cost of Glistener Elf? Do they have a second Invigorate? Whatever. I am certainly going to block. Okay, this is a 1/1 now. We got an I'm dumb in the chat. I wonder if he miscounted or what. Right, here we go. I'm going to tutor Pithing Needle and name Inkmoth Nexus. Oh, he says he forgot about Metalcraft. He didn't realize Mox Opal was up. Pithing Needle naming Inkmoth. And my opponent is in some trouble here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could play Kappa here. That gets dazed, which is pretty embarrassing, but, you know, good luck, whatever. Here we go. All right, sweet. I think I've won this game. Okay, cool. It was thin, but it worked. Dismember, Aether Spell Bomb. Disruptor Flute can name cards like Invigorate or Quick Reflexes and make them cost more. It can also name Inkmoth Nexus, so it doesn't work at all. Haywire Might can exile an Inkmoth Nexus, or no, it's non-creature or artifact. Okay, nope. No, it cannot. Anytime it's an artifact, it's also a creature, but it's frequently neither. I don't think I want Force of Negation. I love Chalice of the Void. The boots are kind of mediocre. Shadow Spear doesn't really matter for the damage, though Trample and Lifelink probably doesn't matter. The Hexproof is a maybe. Okay. And I could shave a bunch of Kappas. That does cut into my blue cards pretty significantly. Maybe I just don't have room for the second Disruptor Flute. I'm focusing on getting low to the ground, and I can win with Saga still. Those Kappas did gum up my hand for most of the game there in a matchup that they're not really for. This makes some sense to me. Let's try it. Okay, this is a Pinnacle Emissary, 3 dudes, and then nothing. This hand doesn't do anything. And the Chalice would be nice, but I can't cast it. I'm going to mulligan. Right, this is a turn 1 Chalice. I'm going to keep and put Sink into Stupor on the bottom. Maybe Sink into Stupor is just better than Basic Island in this matchup. I do not know. Ooh, all right. Island Petal. I'll deploy my Chalice. Not having a play on turn 1 means that Blighted Agent or Inkmoth Nexus is likely their win condition, but this does beat Quick Reflexes for the rest of the game. If they cantrip or draw a Noble Hierarch, I'm ahead of those things. Oh, I think this is worth it. Fight. Brainstorm. We're in there. And I'll look at the top of the deck and hopefully get this Saga online. Quick Reflexes, we did it. We've got at least one card. I drew another Force. Oh, Patches O'Houlihan. We're doing stuff. The next mana source is going to be really important. Whether I get to make constructs or not off of this Saga is a big deal. Alright, so they have Agent and Nexus. Oh, alright. Might just die this turn. I can't block anyway. I'll offer a trade. Okay. Yeah, these starts from Infect are so tough because I could get Aether Spellbomb and protect against the Agent. I could get Pithing Needle and protect against the Nexus, but I can't do both. I guess I can do both over 2 turns. Oh no, another one. Construct. A Bauble. Construct. I probably want Needle here. That's just something that does anything. I'll add 2 power to the board before my combat. Take a chunk. Bauble you. Hope I draw any blue card with it. Oh wow, alright. In control mode, so that means I'm either just going to die to this Agent, or my opponent really has nothing going on. Drawing another Nexus. That's good for me. Heck yeah, alright, blue cards. I now force back up to survive this turn, and I have 2 turns to hit them, and I can tutor Aether Spellbomb, which is now effective because of the block last turn. There's that Nexus. Okay, this makes sense. This is why the last turn went the way it did. Just a flush with Blighted Agents. Now this is actually interesting. I guess Aether Spellbomb is just so good. It's probably worth having. Do I want to develop Emery? Yeah, probably. I'll take my chances here. I'm playing around Daze. Maybe I don't need to. Maybe I could let them think I'm going to pass with mana up. Oh, I played around Daze. Yes, I'd like to pay. We did it. Glad that worked out. All right, none of my creatures can block. 6, 11, 12, 13. This is not lethal. Okay. I wonder if opponent just forgot about that floating mana, because that Daze looked kind of pointless, and that Daze would have actually beat my Force of Will on the backswing. I also wonder how many 1-drops are in that hand right now. I feel like we got away with this matchup. It's super tight, both games. On to the next round.
The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here.
I'm on the draw against a Yorion strategy. I'm going to keep this Chalice Saga hand. Really wish I was on the play, but that's Magic sometimes. A Thoughtseize. Alright, well, they can't take any of the cards I care about. I've got 2 Chalices and Urza Saga's a land. They'll probably take Mishra's Bauble would be my guess. And I guess, I'll have a blue card for Force eventually. That will matter. So they should... It'll be Bauble or Force, depending on what they're worried about over there. They said in chat, this Thoughtseize is kind of dead. Yep, I was just saying that in real life. And they did take the Bauble. Ooh. Alright, well... I'll mess with that later. Yeah, that only was good for 1 homie, because I don't want to spam Chalice on 0 in this deck, because I have so many zeros. Overlord of the Balemark. I did draw a blue card. And they're definitely going to be a Wasteland deck. Not a Wasteland. Second Overlord, alright. That found a Solitude and no other hits. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I'm willing to Chalice on 0, I can Kappa right now. Oh no, I fucking Chalice of the Void in play already. No, I'm good. This is how this card works. Figured it out. Alright, I'm playing Kappa. I know they just picked up Solitude and their next land can pay the ward for, but if they spend 2 cards and 4 mana and their whole turn to deal with this, that's just gotta be okay with me. Skyclave Apparition. Alright, that's gonna bust my Chalice probably, which I have more where that came from. The 4th land ETB tap, that's big money. I guess what I do here is make a construct, tutor Mox Opal. Oh, JK. Now I can tutor something real. I was gonna make sure I could play Chalice, but now I can do that anyway. I want Shadow Spear. Shadow Spear. Chalice on 1, redeploy. Just clap you for 8. A Hardcast Solitude taking out Construct is live. There's still a ward 4 to worry about on the other one. Alright, Solitude pitching Plow. They're clearly going to go for the Kappa then. Is there more follow-up, or am I going to be able to get it done here? Can Construct limp over the finish line? Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't equip Shadow Spear, attack, and play Kappa. I can attack, see if they block, and then play Kappa. I'm going to do that. This is certainly telling a story, but the story is true. Okay, the recapping. Skyclave Apparition can take Shadow Spear, that's very good. Now I need to draw any artifact, except Pinnacle Emissary. Easy money. Alright, cool. I don't know what they have that would beat this. I like Dismember. I do like Consign to Memory in general as a card versus Death and Taxes. I don't know if I like it in the context of this deck versus Death and Taxes. If I'm a control deck, I'm bringing in basically as many consigns as I have. But I'm an aggro deck, so what does that mean? Do I need Force of Will at all here? Chalice of the Void is also kind of mediocre. My opponent just happened to draw Plow that game, and it was very important. The deck has Aether Vials, probably not Mother of Runes. They don't usually play that card anymore. Unless I get Chalice up to 2, then it's really doing stuff. I don't actually think I'm that interested in Chalice here. I could get Aether Spellbomb, 4 consigns, Dismembers, and just focus on attacking my opponent. Alright, I'll try this. Yeah, turn 1 Emery with a bunch of interaction. I'll try it. If they Thoughtseize me this game, it'll be a lot better than last game. Boo, boo. They took Consign over Emery, that's scary. Seat of the Synod, Mox Opal, Emery. I don't have to play around Daze. I don't have to play around Mindbreak Trap either, but I did. Okay, I could Bobble now, but that taps me out of Dismember. I think I just want to Bobble. Solitude in the hand. Patches O'Houlihan. Oh, yeah, Caracas. That'll do. That one's good. And Aether Vial. I'm looking for artifacts to cast here. Patches. And I am going to play Emery. Just make them bounce it. If I don't play Emery, then they don't have to tap the Caracas to deal with her. And it's not totally free because I am also milling myself. Like I can only cast Emery 15 times in a game before I'm dead. Thoughtseize. And all my cards are pretty reasonable here. A good threat and 2 varying quality removal spells. Yeah, taking that Sink into Stupor before I can clear their vial. Emery's back. Ooh. The Pineapple. Is that even good? I could just play it. I could warp it, then play Patchwork. Or would I rather have a 1/1 or an additional +1 counter on this Patchwork? Because I can sequence this however I want. I guess I'd rather have the 1/1. Though, they're both kind of mediocre. Okay. And then I can play the Pinnacle Emissary from Warp next turn. And that'll trigger both patches. All I can do is swarm here and hope I get over the line. Wrath of the Skies would be pretty messed up. Uh-oh, that is what they're casting. I can smell it. I can smell it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they made an extra energy. And now all I can do is limp in there and Automaton dies to everything that comes out of this Aether Vial. All right, I've lost this game. And maybe I do need Force of Wills if they have cards like that in their deck. I think I'll shave a Lava Spur Boots for a Force, and I want one more in here. Opal's really good on my busted opening turns, but you never want to draw 2 of those. Maybe I can shave a Consign. What if I shave 2 Consigns and get 3 Forces on the play? That leaves all my Opals in the deck. Alright, I'll try to push this way then. This is a turn 1 Automaton, and then nothing for a long time, but it does have double Force backup. This hand is not good. Right, turn 1 Emery. I will keep this, and if I bottom Automaton, I can have Consign up this turn. Right, here's all my artifacts. Here's Emery. My opponent's deck does play 4 Caracas. Just hoping for the best here. Hit 4 castable artifacts out of the graveyard. And I didn't bobble my opponent. Oh, hell yeah. Hope you needed that. And now I can bobble them, because I don't need the mana anymore. I see Shadowy Backstreet in hand. Seat of the Synod, Mishra's Bauble. I think I want Aether Spellbomb in play. And I am going to play around Orcish Bowmaster by bobbling now. Flooded Strand on top. Force of Will. My next blue card is very good, because I am set up to play a whole nice long grindy game here. Phantom Blade to the graveyard. The turn 2 Aether Vial resolves. Well, there we go. I'll return Mishra's Bauble to play. Do I want to draw more cards, or just do what I'm going to do here? I think I'm just going to leave Bauble in play for artifact count and try to smush their life. The sideboard technology coming in. Okay, that Force of Will was good. I am not completely out of the woods. If they have another Wrath, I'm not doing anything. And this is exactly the spot where I would love to have a Lava Spur Boots in my deck, but I don't. Can I represent this Sink into Stupor? Like, what if I just don't make a construct? How crazy is that? I'm just worried about losing all of my permanents. Yeah, and Mox Opal being legendary, like, there's no sequence, even if I'm willing to throw cards in the graveyard to, like, tutor Mox Opal, play this Mox Opal out of the graveyard, and then have 3 mana going into the next turn. It's just not there. Alright. I'm going for it. Fetch in response. I hope this is a plow. Ugh. Uh-oh. Could get Needle, turn off this Vial. That's at least one thing that I'm not worried about. Aether Vial is off. I target Urza's Bauble from my graveyard. I'm going to attack for 9. And there is 1 Force left in my deck that I could draw 2 to look for. Marsh Flats in your hand. Plains on top. None of those are Wrath of the Skies. Alright, don't cook me, bro. There's the Plains. Skyclave Apparition. Take out my Needle. Alright, how does this one work? It works the old way, the poor way. Yeah, if I bounce this now, my Needle is exiled forever, and I don't get a 1/1. Alright. I'm going to have to use Sink into Stupor to get through this turn. Ooh. Warp the Pinnacle Emissary. This might just make lethal around whatever they're trying to do. So I have multiple 10/10s. Play one from the graveyard. Okay, here we go. Sink into Stupor is available. Vial. Stoneforge Mystic. Meteor Sword. Sweet. Destroy target permanent. What could they have? Swords to Plowshares at this point? Like, if I sink into Stupor, right, I'm just going to bounce the Stoneforge and hope that I win. We got the GGs. All right, cool. Yeah, that was tight. Just bashing back and forth with creature value decks of completely different sorts, but fun match. On to the next one.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 3 with kind of an awkward hand. This Emery doesn't come down until turn 2, and these force backups don't matter. If my hand's too slow, I'm going to mulligan. If I could get the Emery down, I would have kept that hand. Ugh. So this, if I bottom Kappa, what does this hand do? Very little. I'd have to Chalice on 0 to get off the ground, which, as I've made clear, is not something I want to do with my deck. All right, mulligan. Here we go. Keep. I'm going to get rid of Sink into Stupor and Lava Spur Boots. This is a turn 1 Emery and then a buntload of Urza Sagas. Force of Will. Pitching, Sink into Stupor. Oh, is this a mirror match? That would be sweet. Otawara. So it's not the full 75 card mirror. I don't have any of those. Bauble. Oh, is this show and tell? What are we up against? Saga. Bauble. Bauble, yeah. Coveted Jewel. Oh, it's this. I think we're cooked. I guess I do have a lot of counter spells in my 75, but they're kind of like my deck, except I die immediately when they do their thing. All right, so I'm going to put in Kappa. They're going to put in Coveted Jewel. If they don't win right now, I get their Jewel. But they also are pretty likely to win right now. Copy Artifact, let's go. Coveted Jewel did really well at Eternal Weekend Italy. It didn't have a lot of pilots, but its win rate was phenomenal. Paradox Engine, ooh, yikes. Yeah, with 7 cards in hand, I don't think I'm going to get a turn with this Kappa, but I have to let them do their thing. Maybe I'll concede to a 1 ring. Yeah, if they're just drawing their deck. No, I'm not conceding anything. They got to show me a win con. Because that could also affect how I sideboard, depending on what they actually do to win. Stock up, untap all my permanents. Ugh, this is so nice. Eternal Weekend 2 years ago, I actually seriously considered playing Coveted Jewel in the main event. Me and Tony Scapone were in a lot of communication leading up to that event. And then I wussed out. There's 28 mana in the pool right now. They frequently play Emrakul as the win condition. Just all 15 mana, cast this thing, off we go. They've now drawn half their deck. It's turn 2, by the way. Okay, they've got a 1 ring. They should be able to draw their deck from here. Maybe the Emrakul is the last card, and then I win. Do we believe? Emrakul is not the last card. Okay, GG's. Okay, yeah, I mean, game 1 seems kind of whack, but 4 consigns, 2 force negations coming in. It's pretty nice. Disruptor Flute, I could see arguments for. Chalice of the Void, I didn't see any 1s or 0s. Nothing that I could actually put this card on the correct number for. Shadow Spear is out. Pithing Needle can name the 1 ring. That's kind of big. Kappa's blue for these 6 forces. I think I need to leave most of those in, even if it's not really what I'm about. I guess I could shave 1. Haywire Might also has text. If I can clip a Jewel with a copy on the stack, that could break their chain. That sounds pretty wishful thinking, though. I think I am going to shave Boots, even though this is a matchup where cutting the clock in half could be really important, and haste interacts really importantly with the card Coveted Jewel. But that assumes they ever pass the turn with a Coveted Jewel in play. And I would rather have access to all my blue cards in interaction. Do I cut up patches? Can you do that? Is that legal? All right, I'm gonna try this. This might be slightly more than I need. Like if I just don't bring in Disruptor Flutes, I get to keep my Kappa and my patches. Or patches plus Lava Spur Boots. I could see that being right. But turning off the One Ring's a pretty big deal. Okay, so this is a Pinnacle Emissary with Force backup. It makes one dude. Then I can Pinning Needle on the next turn. This is pretty mid. I do kind of like the Force though. All right, I'm going to try this. I will warp my Robit. It would be sick if they force this. Like if they think my hand's better than it is and actually use important interaction on this. I would love that. They're thinking about it. It has resolved. They're going to be pretty stoked that it's only for one. Copy artifact in hand. Let's copy anything. Any artifact on the battlefield. All right, so they can copy my stuff. Kind of devious. Saga's a great find here. That lets me keep doing stuff. City of Traders. Chrome Mox. All right, well, if they had a force last turn, they can certainly protect their business now. Grim Monolith. Okay. Well, I'm going to force this because I have to. That worked. That's exciting. The bad news is the thing that they were going to put in off of that is still in their hand. Opal, huh? Okay, so Saga. I'm going to dump out my hand here and hope it's good enough. That's all I got. Pinnacle Emissary. Opal. Needle on the One Ring. All right, well, there it is. I've made my stand. Go. Don't kill me. Bad news, team. There's another card being cast. Copy artifact. This is going to be your Grim Monolith. Try to get back up to 4 mana or 6 next turn. Okay, that is spent. All right, use the floating mana to untap the other Grim Monolith. Just being a silly goose. That's allowed. Did I board out the boots? I think I did, right? Yep. Once again, that thing I said about the boots remains true. That it looks so tempting during sideboarding, and then you realize it's actually really important in games. I don't think it's wrong. I just think it's unfortunate cost of doing business. Speaking of unfortunate cost of doing business, I'm going to make a construct and then F6. Maybe I shouldn't have made the construct, because if they copy it, it might be bigger than mine before this turn is over, but I can't resist this F6 value. Phyrexian Metamorphosis in. Transmute, that's another jewel. Or it could be the Paradox Engine. Whatever they want. That's how Tinker works. Let's stock up. 3 mana left. A Transmute, Metamorph, and Copy Artifact. That's so many redundant ways to make more jewels once you have the first one. A lot of reserve list cards in this deck as well. Copy Artifact and Transmute Artifact, both on the old reserve list. Show and tell. All right, well, Emery's coming into play. Oh. Develop the Emrakul and pass? Is this what the best you got? I did not bring in Aether Spell Bomb, did I? That would have been too easy. Oh, man. Didn't occur to me that the game might look like that. A Mox Opal. So I am going to get these jewels. I will be at more than 15 life. I will have tons of mana post-combat, so I'm going to do this now. Do I want a bauble? I guess so. And I don't really want to lose my 9/9. If I attack with the 3/1/1s, I lose one of those and I have a better attack next turn. Okay, attack, attack, attack. I will gain control of 2 jewels here, and my opponent will go to 12. And I think with these 2 Pinnacle Emissaries in exile, I should be able to make more than 6 permanents and flying blockers so they don't get the jewels back. Emissary. Emissary. Opal makes 2 more friends. And I drew force blue card off of all this. I could play a Kappa from my graveyard. Oh, I could play another Pinnacle Emissary. No, I actually can't. I don't have the mana. I think I'll just take a bauble. It's 3 permanents. Play Saga. Oh, I probably should have played Seed of the Synod. Or no, these aren't mana. Okay. How many permanents do I have? How many do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll probably sack the jewels on the attack trigger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I want to draw more cards? I always want to draw more cards. Who am I talking about? What am I doing? Let's see, stock up in your hand and Sappers and Scary on top of your deck. That's not very Sappers and Scary. I'm not Saprison scared. It didn't draw anything helpful. The double force is going to have to get this Emrakul off my back. You attack. I annihilate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'll block with one of my drones. Oh yeah, that's why we play it out. All right. I mean, Chalice on 2 is actually really good in this matchup. Do I think that's actually going to happen? And that's transmute and copy. I don't think I actually believe in that. Can I get the boots back in? It would be over a Disruptor Flute. So I'd be better against past jewels. I'd be better on an empty board. I'd be worse against the One Ring. But I have 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12 answers to the One Ring. I am going to cut a flute and get my boots back in. All right, force blue card plus consign with a weird little spread of artifacts. I am going to keep this, but I would love to find something like a Pinnacle Emissary or Patches, Urza Saga, any of those things. Its opponent's turn to mulligan, down to 5 over there. Island Pass. Bobble. Opal. Bobble. Bobble. I'd like to see a card in your hand. Chain of Vapor. Oh, that's spooky. Well, I guess I better play my Lotus Petal so I can still interact on my opponent's turn. All right, now I get to keep my Kappa. Grim Monolith. I don't think that's where I'm fighting. Petal. I'll add that. This lets me hard cast a force and then pitch cast a force, and I give up on consign. I think I'd like to bobble them and see another card, though. Sink into Stupor, okay. Consign to memory. Okay, so here I'm gonna force. Yeah. What am I? No, I'm gonna consign. I'm gonna consign. In my head, I was planning out if my opponent plays show and tell, am I even fighting over it? Like, I could put in Kappa, consign the draw trigger, and then attack and take the jewel. But that was the jewel straight up. That is not the thing that I was talking about. Okay, I will look at another card with another bobble. The One Ring on top. All right, I've got another consign for that. If they have the mana to play it. They can chain their own Grim Monolith to like untap it for 3 mana instead of for 4. Another bobble. Deck plays a lot of these. Saw Perfect Springs. This deletes the City of Traders to get the One Ring on the stack. Another consign. Still can't afford to kick it. I think I'd like to bobble and try to find some action here. There's a transmute in that hand. Spooky, spooky. Okay, we're starting to get somewhere. Saw Perfect Springs tapped. And I still have force. I guess my life total doesn't matter much in this matchup, and it's probably better to spend a Lotus Petal to hardcast a force than have to pitch for it. All right, well, it's capping time. All right, I'm capping. If they have a copy artifact, they could also have a Kappa, but I have more artifacts in my deck, or my artifacts are higher velocity than theirs. So we might have similar numbers of artifacts in our deck, and I have the first Kappa. They just passed back with no action. Love that for me. Love the second Kappa as well. Let's double this clock. Okay, now they're exactly dead on board. I could have had double interaction up if I didn't play this Kappa, but I would have had double interaction over 2 turns rather than single interaction over 1. I think knowing what I know about their hand, this makes sense. They're going to transmute their Grim Monolith, probably into a different Grim Monolith. This nets 1 mana. Okay, they looked at their deck and decided they didn't have anything. Cool, the run continues on to the next one.
The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables.
I'm on the draw in round 4 with a force, lots of mana, and 2 refires. This isn't really what you want, but it's also, there's enough upside here that I'm still kind of into it. Tropical Island Ponder. My immediate thought is Omnitel. And there's so many draws that make this hand incredible. Saga, yeah, let's develop one of those. I've got myself a Ancient Tomb here. Bobble Bobble, have a peek. Fatal Push, oh, or Bug something or other. Fatal Push, Misty Rainforest. Alright, if this is Bug Beans, I gotta hope to fade one of their Wastelands. Alright, well, there's Pinnacle Emissary and Chalice of Void. I like all of these cards being around. I think I should get the Chalice out here. This plays around Daze, and I know they're holding at least one card it turns off. And the card it turns off would kill the thing I'd do with my mana anyway on this turn. Force Pitching Force. Force Pitching Sink. Brainstorm while you still can. This Fatal Push probably not in the hand anymore. I'm in the spot where Witherbloom Command is a nightmare. This is exactly the type of matchup that card is for. Oh, they came up with another Force Pitching Brainstorm. Alright. They really don't want Chalice of the Void in play. And that means Fatal Push probably is still around. Still going to make the creature, because Fatal Push will work eventually on something. They have 3 mana, which means Patchwork Automaton is also hittable. Orcish Bowmaster, hate that. And me with 0 extra artifacts. 3 Seed of the Synods in my hand. Okay. What do I get here? I don't want to be bobbling. It might just be Opal. Or I could get Boots. Opal cast Pinnacle Emissary next turn. Like it's just in play for real. Alright, I will get Opal. Seed of the Synod. What does Pithing Needle name in this matchup? Just Polluted Delta? Aseju? I'm gonna name Polluted Delta. This is one of those ugly YOLO plays that you're not actually happy to make, but I'm gonna use the card I have in my hand. I guess Kaito is potentially a card they could have. Oh no! Did I get got? Yeah, in my brain, I'm like, bug cards, that's Bug Beans, but Kaito's obviously a much better card than Up the Beanstalk in this metagame, so yeah, I had the thing, and thought of it after it mattered. Tough beats for me, but I deserve it. They binned Force of Will and Orcish Bowmasters. What are you looking for? Okay, the Fatal Push was cycled away. Tamio is here. Okay, so now I know what I'm up against, and this dramatically changes what I thought was going on. Pinnacle Emissary. As the full 3/3 mode. Make a pal. If I use this bauble, I lose my pal. Get a win from here, I would need to like rip a Kappa immediately, and it'd be uncontested for the whole game. Well, can't block. And I can block Tamio. Never mind, I'm cooked. Alright. Yeah, this Pithing Needle on the wrong thing. No good. Okay. We're against Bug Tempo. Chalice the Void's very important. Dismembers might be necessary, because Bowmaster's over there, but there are draws in my deck that don't care that much about Bowmaster. I just happen to have one that cares a lot about Bowmaster when they had a Bowmaster. I think I do want my forces. A Needle on Kaito is something, but it's also kind of whatever. Needle on Wasteland is probably more likely to be a choice I make. I could shave 1 Opal, shave 1 Force. It's not a card you want a lot of, but it might be important ones. This gets me these 3 cards. I will try this. Alright, I will keep this. It has patches into Saga. It doesn't back it up at all, but this is a stompy hand that is strong against removal and counterspells. Alright, we're in there. Polluted Delta is in the deck. Not that I didn't think it was. Alright, Chalice. Great rip. Let's see if they got the consign. Force Pitching Brainstorm. Alright. Didn't have the blue card to back it up, but that was a great follow-up. It's the kind of thing I'm looking for there. This deck could have Pernicious Deed. Just trying to think of sideboard bangers that could ruin my life. Wasteland, that's pretty good. Do they want the Saga or the Tomb? They want the Saga, okay. Thoughtseize, alright. This hand is pretty mediocre. Enjoy. Took my force. Something to cast? Oh, ding, 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 ding. The Thoughtseize bug. Mysterian Force. Now Orcish Bowmaster is in the mix. But also, I can make my patches a 3/3 before combat. We did it. Ooh, something's happening. I'm getting consigned on my chapter 2. Okay. I accept. I have no choice in the matter, but I accept. This patches has done 11 damage already. I guess 10 damage because they fetched and forced 9 damage. Pretty good. Pretty good output for my turn 1 play. All right, fetching before the Pithing Needle snags their Rainforest. The Pithing Needle's not in the deck, but they don't know that. Boots, Spear. Boots is really good with Emery, so I can start doing stuff immediately. Emery. Trigger. Equip the haste to Emery. Yeah, they do, in fact, have Revolt. I will instead attack for 4. Okay, I'm a little worried about the card Murktide Regent. No, I'm not. I have Aether Spellbomb to play. What am I worried about? Children's Edict? I don't want to see that. Land Fatal Push? Oh, I have Ward 1 and Ward 2 right now. Well, I'm in pretty good shape for that. Didn't shuffle. Bowmaster. Okay. I'm just going to try to Dismember and Spellbomb and win right now. They have to have Force of Will for this to not be lethal. Boing. Alright, cool. I used the 2 removal spells they knew about on their 2 blockers. That's what it's supposed to look like. Just get low and apply steady pressure while they do other stuff. Yeah, I still like the composition of the deck here. Going in. Same stuff. It's kind of slow, but it is multiple chalices. I'm going to keep. Underground Sea. Am I getting Thoughtseized? Okay, here's what I have. I have 2 of what I hope is the important card. Yep, they took 1 of 2 copies of a card. Always feels bad when that's the reality. Ooh. Alright, Bobble. Bobble. I'll look at their hand, see if I can mise a Force of Will. Ponder. A Bowmaster. Oh, that's the wrong land. Brian, what are you doing? No. Oh, no. That was supposed to be my turn 2 play. I blew it. I got so excited about all the things I was doing. Shit. Well, I hope I draw Ancient Tomb. Or Mox Opal. Yeah, that was really bad. Ooh, opponent kept a 1-lander, counting on that Ponder. Do I want Emery involved here? Opponent has a Bowmaster in their hand. Do I care? I could get Patches and get to work. Or, okay, I'm going to play Patches because I can tutor the boots and get Emery going immediately next turn, and this does more damage. Ooh, Tamio in the hand. We got the Chalice cheese game coming. Force of Will, alright. Okay. Are they going to use that to cast spells or try to screw me? If they waste the Seed of the Synod, I'll just get a Mox Opal and keep playing. If they waste the Urza Saga, then I don't even need that part. Alright, float. Get boots. Lotus Petal, grow Patches. Emery. Trigger there. Put the boots on Emery. That found a Mox Opal. I think I want that one. I'm not going to be drawing cards into this Bowmaster. I wonder if I'm supposed to force the Bowmaster. Probably not. I'm just supposed to bash through that with my 4/4, I think is the answer. Like, they can ping me for 1 and start chump blocking. That's not where I spend my precious interaction. If they just don't block, that would be scary, because that would hint that Kaito is in their hand, and I don't want that thing to happen. Bowmaster holding back as a blocker. Memory target. Mishra's Bauble is growing stuff before combat. If they have multiple Bowmasters, that buys a bunch of time. Alright. They just didn't attack or block with their creature. It's technically allowed in the rules, though not advised. Still didn't attack or block. Well, they might still block. Didn't attack. Ancient Tomb. Do I want a Chalice on 2? Kinda. Chalice of the Void. This stops future Bowmasters. I don't know if they're going to have Witherbloom commands. But we got that under control. My Automaton's already in play. That's the 2-drop in my deck. Consigned to Memory. Kicking it through the Chalice on 1 trigger. Alright. That's fine. That was free money anyway. Came off of an Emery. Attack you for half your life total. And pass. They're going to have to block with Bowmaster this turn, or just concede to the Chalice. And we remain undefeated onto the final trophy round.
We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here.
I'm on the play in the final trophy round. This hand's pretty interesting. An Accelerated Saga with double force backup is not nothing. I'm going to rock with it. If they're not a Wasteland deck, I kind of like my spot. If they're a combo deck, I love my spot. Underground Sea. Could be a Wasteland deck, a combo deck, and or both. But they didn't Wasteland me. Could be Doomsday, Dimir Tempo, Reanimator, any of those sorts of things. Thoughtseize? Yeah, have a look. What do you think? Took one of my caps. Okay, so they kept a one-lander. And I'm about to smoke their life with Urza Saga. Okay. I think here I'm just going to get the boots and attack for 1,000,000. Attack for half their life total, and then they have to beat double force on the next turn. Boots, Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal. It's actually kind of sick, because they might have to force this Lotus Petal just to be alive. Yeah, look at this shit. I'll take it. Force Pitching Days. All right. I'm not going to fight over that. I'll accept a slightly slower clock, and that you don't have Force Will in your hand anymore. Oh, Underground Sea, Thoughtseize, Force Days. Could still be Doomsday. And if they make a pass pile, they just lose. Oh, suddenly an Underground Sea appearing off the top of the deck. Hymn to Turok, okay. Well, this gets 2 cards anyway, and they can't take me off force entirely. Oh, this is Dimir Tempo. Doomsday doesn't have that in there. Any artifact? Oh, yeah, dang. You're at 1. Okay, sweet. And that's what's cool about this deck. There's so many gears. You want the turn 1 Pinnacle Emissary dump out, but you can also just protect an Urza Saga with double force. Alright, I think they're Dimir Tempo. Either Spellbomb I like. A couple of Dismembers I like. -1 force. -1 Opal. Pithing Needle can name Kaito in this matchup. They're going to have Barrowglyphs, so maybe I need all my Dismembers. Alright, Kaito can kick rocks. I'm not leaving Pithing Needle in against a deck where it does so little. Can I live without the boots? Can I live with only 2 Dismembers? Alright, I'm gonna... When I hit the wall, and I'm not sure if I should sideboard anymore, my default is to stop. I would rather underboard than overboard most of the time. Just make sure my deck still works. Alright, this is pretty cool. I will keep it. Oh, got even better. Alright. Ancient Tomb. Petal to play around Days. Chalice. I know this makes my Spellbomb worse, but if this Chalice resolves, we're in business. Nice. End step Sewer. Dump to Polluted Delta. They're not looking for lands. Patches of Houlihan. Love to see it. Okay. I'm going to Warp Pinnacle Emissary. Worth a Force of Will. Okay. You're probably right about that. Patches, follow it up, and pass. If Lotus Petal was just a land, I probably would cycle off the Spellbomb right now. But it's not. It would cost me an artifact to get a +1 counter on that, and I'm not interested in that exchange right now. I'm interested in playing Capra Cannoneers every turn for the rest of the game. And hoping they don't have Barrowglyph right now. Okay, they didn't have Barrowglyph right now. Good news. Okay, I can play around Days now. That makes my life so much better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Leave 1 floating. Kappa on the Stacka. Force of Will down to 1 card in hand, and they did have Days. So, rewarded. Do I want to spend the Spellbomb now? It makes Patches bigger. No, there's other Pineapple Emissaries in my deck. There's reasons to hold on to that. 1 card left in their hand. If it's Kaito, I'm still not convinced that that does more than Kappa. If it's Murktide, we might have a race because I'm turning off my own Spellbomb. Uh-oh, blue. Murktide is only 5/5, but I'm at 13 and I need this Ancient Tomb. I played myself. Oh, Dismember's a good draw now. And they just yeeted Tameo into the void. Oh, baby. Get out of here. Give me that. Okay, now I can answer Murktide. I'll take 2, go to 9. Take 5, go to 4. And I don't have to play around Days now. Because my opponent is heck bent. Alright. I'm taking 0 from the Bowmasters. I need the Murktide to not kill me. At 4. I do have to tap the tomb. All right, now I don't. Good news, everyone. What does this race look like? If I attack with everything, they're dead next turn. If I leave back patches, then I can tap Ancient Tomb if I need to. Murktide cannot be replayed even. All right, yeah, I'm going full size, full smash here. They are taking the easy chump block. And I'm going to upkeep, bounce, Murktide. All right, that's gone. They only have 5 mana for it. A fetch land gets it back into play as a 3/3, which actually does kill me next turn. But I have a lethal attack back. Yeah, they're at exactly 10. They'd have to block with Murktide. All right, Tamiyo, that helps cast the Murktide next turn. All right, I think we're over the hump here. That was nice. All right, well, this attack will kill the Bowmaster because they're dead. Kappa is when an artifact enters. Patchwork is when you cast an artifact. So I could not make Kappa unblockable there. All right, that's the turn. I'm not going to use my Bauble because if they had drawn, I guess they would have blocked. I don't need to play around Bowmaster there, but I don't want to give them any chance. And just like that, that is a smooth little trophy with Tommaso's Eternal Weekend winning deck. Yeah, we played against a bunch of different decks, and we saw all the different ways this deck can work. We had early patches get tall, we had early Emissary get wide, we had Kappa go big, we had Saga go big, we had the control game where I boarded out a bunch of threats and boarded in 6 counter spells versus that Jewel player. This is cool. There's also no reserve list in this deck. It's not a cheap deck. There's still Ancient Tombs in there, Urza Sagas. It's not like it's free. I mean, Mox Opal, I think, is the most expensive card in Modern. But when we're talking about the Legacy format, we have to understand our context of, I think this whole deck is probably cheaper than one Underground Sea. And I don't want to dismiss it as a budget option because it's just one Eternal Weekend, but it is also a budget option. It's nice when good decks are also approachable in the format. And if you're looking for a way to enter Legacy, this might be the place, especially if you're a Modern player and you already have Opals and Sagas, you're more than halfway there. This was a lot of fun. Lucify, thank you for the opportunity to play it. Tommaso, congrats on your tournament run. GG's. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.